Do you ever have long nights thinking about Trinity Marks? Do you ever daydream about puzzle pieces? Well, so do I. I've been thinking about the collectibles in the Kingdom Hearts games, for lack of a better term. Why? I don't know. I've tried to get help, I've tried to stop, but I just can't. So now I'm gonna rant about these for however long this exercise takes. And whether you like it or not, I removed the X on your tab, so you have to come with me. Just don't fact check that. Trust me, the X isn't there. Anyway, I should probably start ranting about a bunch of stupid and meaningless parts of all these games. So with that, I'm gonna be starting off with the first and only game, Kingdom Hearts 1. So I probably should have said this earlier, but I don't mean treasure chests. I actually have been in a long-running feud with the treasure chests ever since 84.
I'll get them. This time, we settle it.
Seriously, don't bring up the treasure chests, I won't be happy. So instead I'm going to be talking about their lesser known and frequently replaced cousins, the Trinity Marks. Trinity Marks are able to be activated with Sora, Donald, and Goofy, which makes it so you can't do them with any other party member equipped, and you can only switch out party members at save points, which ends up making it all the more apparent why they immediately remove this after the first game. Now, if you know-life this game like I do, then you're probably pretty familiar with how Trinity Marks are done here. But if you're not, you don't belong here. Since I removed the X from your tab, I guess I could explain it to you. I feel like I can't really sum up my feelings about these in a very easy way. They're a really interesting addition to the game, and while it may feel like this is going nowhere, just stick with me here, because you don't have a choice. Trinity Marks were pretty ahead of their time considering the game released in 2002. Looking at games of this era, I realized that this mechanic is pretty few and far between. Kingdom Hearts 1, Madden 2003, 0. But let's look at God of War, for example. It was a game released around the same time frame Kingdom Hearts was released, and that I've beaten. And that's how you know that the game has an easy mode. Anyways, I can't really think of anything in the game that was too similar to Trinity Marks. And this, of course, could just be my memory tricking me into giving you false information, but God of War isn't the deepest game out here. And I'm sorry to all the diehard God of War fans possibly watching this, because I love God of War as well. But I feel like I'm pretty sure that they only started doing things like this after Kingdom Hearts. But maybe I'm just clouded by how much I like this game. Either way, the progression of Trinity Marks are done pretty well here. You unlock the different colored Trinity Marks as you progress through the game. Blue after Traverse Town 1, red after Deep Jungle, green after Agrabah, yellow after the Hercules Cup and Olympus, and white after Riku 1 and Hollow Bastion. So the progression for unlocking Trinity Marks is spread out well enough. I don't know if it's just me, but to be honest, the red and green Trinity could have probably been spread out farther. I mean, obviously you need the red Trinity to do Traverse Town too, but it kind of feels like, oh, cool, I get to unlock red Trinities now. And then immediately after, you get to unlock green Trinity Marks. I know I'm sounding really nitpicky right here, but maybe they could have put this green Trinity in Monstro or something like that. And this is totally not speaking of Monstro, but I need a good transition to move on to the placement of the Trinity Marks themselves. So here we go, the meat and potatoes and rice and broccoli and corn and beans of Trinity Marks. God. The placement. Starting off, I feel like I should probably quickly bitch about this for a minute before actually seriously evaluating it. Okay, ready? Some of the places for Trinity Marks are god-awful. They aren't even clever. Look at this. You see this nice green ground texture? Well, there's a green Trinity Mark in the middle of it. You may not see it. I know I didn't the first few times I was Trinity hunting, and I was seriously ripping my hair out over seeing that I was missing one green Trinity and not knowing where the hell it was. I ended up having to look up a walkthrough for that Trinity Mark, which I would usually feel pretty guilty for doing, but when I saw where they put this, I wasn't even ashamed of myself. I was just disappointed with Square, and I know they don't care what I think, but I'm not the only one who thinks that this is complete bullshit. Anyway, stupid dumb rant over, the rest of the placements for Trinity Marks are pretty okay. Obviously, you have your wide open Trinity Marks that don't require too much thought, and there's also the Trinity Marks that blend into the ground and are really stupid, but the 3 other Trinity Marks are well placed. I'm obviously joking for the sake of brevity, but there are a few good Trinity Marks that are pretty smartly placed. Take the green Trinity on top of Geppetto's ship in Monstro, for example. It doesn't blend in with the ground, and it isn't out in the open. It's a Trinity mark that you can see if you get high enough, but if you're just discovering it on the first Monstro visit, it does a great job of making you think at how you're going to get on top of the ship. Of course, as soon as you get glide, the Trinity mark is piss easy, but let it have its moment in the sun for a second, because it doesn't get much sun as it is. You know, being in a whale's mouth and all. But enough with the praise. Trinity marks are starting to sound better than this channel, which isn't a very high bar to cross in the first place, but I don't like it. So I'm going to talk at length about how this mechanic is really, really annoying, so I seem better. Okay, so this mechanic isn't perfect. Some of the issues and gripes I have with the Trinity marks are aforementioned. For every nicely placed Trinity mark, there's about 2 of them that are the deep jungle green Trinity mark. And although I'd hate to bore you with even more examples of Trinity placement, the monster white Trinity. For the sake of brevity, I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but just look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's also no way to swap out party members without having a save point present. See, the funny thing is, they actually retconned this by adding an option in the command menu to swap out your party members in Cage 2. And it's a nice addition on paper. But they also got rid of Trinity marks, so I guess better late than never. And contextually, it makes sense that only Sora, Donald, and Goofy would be able to use Trinity marks, because of the 3 of them being Ride or Dies, Day Ones, and Bros for Life with each other. But I'm not alone in saying that mechanically, it's a bitch and a half to switch out your characters at a save point when you see that one Trinity mark that won't go away just to activate it and get a potion and have your significant other walk out on you and take your vacation fund and the kids. I know you're watching, Samantha. I remember what you did, and I don't forgive you. Or at least that's just what happened to me. I don't know about everyone else. I'm gonna keep this part short because it's a pretty well-known flaw in the original Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, and I have to get to Mexico by tomorrow or I'm dead. What I'm addressing here is that in the original Kingdom Hearts, not Final Mix, there's a red Trinity in Oogie's Manor that you need to activate before you kill the final boogie, or it's gone forever. There will always be one Trinity that you don't have, and you can't have because it's mine!
It's mine!
Either way, this is stupid. They patched it in the final mix copy, but for the amount of people that this happened to initially, it's kinda inexcusable. On a different and much smaller note, you can actually beat the game without unlocking Yellow Trinity. Now, this isn't a flaw as much as it's just an interesting design choice on the developer's part, and of course the Yellow Trinity is the least utilized Trinity color, and I'm pretty sure there aren't too many people who actively avoided beating the Hercules Cup, which, to the people who did this, congratulations, you accomplished absolutely nothing. Are you proud of yourself? Are you? To end it all, Trinity marks are okay. There isn't much to say here that hasn't already been echoed by both me and many other people. So, how's your day been? Are the kids doing well? That's good, that's good. Oh, did you catch the game last night? Pretty good showing by the players of the team, right? Okay, Trinity marks are executed fine in this game. There are some annoying parts about them that I mentioned earlier, but they're a pretty good little mechanic that didn't need to be added, but I don't think anybody's complaining by having them here. And next, I shamefully have to talk about the second game ever, and by proxy, the second best game of all time, Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh boy, do I love jigsaw puzzles. The feeling when you put the right pieces together, it's a great time waster too. And the best part of it is that when you finally put the pieces together, and it turns out to be a picture of you and your friends posing for a photo shoot. In all seriousness, Kingdom Hearts 2 decided to say bye to Trinity Marks and brought in a much younger, more muscular, and much worse husband in the form of puzzle pieces. She also decided to cut the Trinity Marks out of the kid's life too. And while we're at it, we might as well rename Kingdom Hearts 2 to Samantha, because I'm pretty sure Trinity Marks feel the same way as me. In fact, Trinity Marks don't even need Kingdom Hearts 2, and that mechanic is better off without the cluster of zippers and darkness that this game is. Whew! You know, I like how I start that segment off by saying in all seriousness and then hit you with that bunch of useless and surely tiring info.
Oh, my hickey back!
But next we have puzzle pieces. You know, my opinion on puzzle pieces can never really stay the same. Sometimes I think they're better than Trinity Marks, and sometimes I wish the sparkly thing in the corner of my screen would just disappear. I'm not sure if that sentiment holds true with other people playing Cage 2, but I do think that puzzle pieces have a much more blurry pro and con section surrounding them. And by that I mean that to some, a pro could be a con, and to others, a con could be a pro. For example, I think that putting together artwork that you often see on posters with the puzzle pieces is a cool little way to involve a break from the 24/7 combat of the normal game, getting items in the process as well. But I've definitely heard some opinions that differ from my own in regards to putting together the said artwork. Either way, there's definitely a part of these puzzle pieces that I feel like I can't not mention moving forward. So I guess I'll get to that now. You know, I could just leave you here waiting. You can't leave, remember? Whatever, just do the music thing. Did you know that there's actually a story in Kingdom Hearts 2?
Can't believe it!
Me personally, and this might just be me, whenever the thing that you call a cutscene turns on, I just kinda close my eyes and cover my ears. We already read books in school, so why listen to a book all over again? Am I right, or am I really right? Anyway, the 13-year-long wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 and all these strange characters kinda comes out of nowhere, leading to a story that doesn't even get close to making sense. 2 out of 10. You know that's unironically probably a review that actually exists. Either way, puzzle pieces make no sense. You get one little text bubble that shows Sora wondering what the puzzle pieces are. The fairies say, hey, you should probably hold on to that. And then you start assembling artwork that Sora probably has an off-screen existential crisis about, and yet, not once does the game make any note about why the hell these are here. The puzzle pieces are so useless to the story that they were actually a Final Mix edition, and didn't ever show up in the original PS2 US copy of the game. And maybe that's a good thing to you. Maybe you have a picture of the puzzle pieces nailed to a dartboard that you hit with a bullseye on every night before you go to bed. That's not me, that's you. You do that. And I'm not gonna act like the original game would have been rated any differently if it had the puzzle pieces. It'll still be the holy grail of action RPGs in most people's eyes. But I definitely feel like you can't just ignore the fact that these don't make any sense contextually. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a positive effect on the game, however. And that's what I'm gonna be subjecting myself to talking about now. Kingdom Hearts is an action series. It will always be heavily combat focused with little snippets of other things thrown in there, and that's been the formula for over 21 years now. But going back to Kingdom Hearts 1 briefly, you'd remember that there is a pretty big platforming element in the game, and for the sake of not wanting to go through each room in Kingdom Hearts 2, I'll just spoil the fun and tell you that Kingdom Hearts 2 doesn't have that said platforming element.
I don't know about you, but I'm out of here, sister.
Now, this really might not be a negative for you. It really varies from person to person if less platforming and more combat is better to you. But I feel like in the past few years, KH1's attempts at platforming have become more appreciated in the community, and this is definitely because of a few notable people who have shared their opinions on KH2's level design compared to the not even arguably better level design in KH1. And for the record, I definitely feel like platforming in KH1 aided a lot on its more grounded and less impressive combat system. But back on topic. In Kingdom Hearts 2, you need to upgrade your drive forms to unlock the movement options in regular gameplay. Now, I'm not going to act like this isn't a tedious and frankly annoying thing to grind for, but I like the sense of progression you get from slowly grinding to unlock these movement abilities. The thing I have to complain about here is the fact that you can't use these abilities for really anything useful. In the base game at least. They did add some uses for these movement abilities in the Final Mix version that added some minor reasons to grind. One of the more notable additions comes in the form of the Cavern of Remembrance. This area, from its initial release, has always been looked at in a very positive light. It also has puzzle pieces. Shit, now I have to talk about puzzle pieces. I'll be back in a bit. I have some family issues to attend to. Sorry. Puzzle pieces do have some cool locations that make them fun to collect in KH2. For example, I really like the locations in the underworld that taunt you to make it so you regret your life. And regret playing Kingdom Hearts 2, of course. There are also the puzzle pieces that you see originally, wonder how the people are supposed to get up there, and then you come back as an SR-71 and get it simple and clean. And that's it. The only interesting places that they're located in. I'm joking, of course, but I feel like I need to make that clear in case people don't think so. Only Lord knows what Twitter would do to me. Granted, I don't think I am or will ever be relevant enough for people to care.
No, never heard of him.
But on to the conclusion, or whatever. So I think in Kingdom Hearts 2, puzzle pieces definitely had a lot of much needed exploration and movement use. And at the end of the day, I think that the puzzle pieces are a useful addition to the final mix that do more good than bad. Okay, I'll say it again. And at the end of the day, I think that the puzzle pieces are a useful addition to the final mix that do it more good than bad. Alright, so now I'm gonna talk about the game with the blue-haired person and the brown-haired person and the blonde kid with a lisp. Can you guess what it is? Okay, so for Birth by Sleep, I'm definitely gonna lean less into the stickers as I have for the Trinity Marks or the puzzle pieces, and that's because the stickers, down to the last little detail, are just puzzle pieces again. But I digress. This time around, instead of putting puzzle pieces together, you're tasked with the daunting challenge of putting stickers on a sticker album? Ooh, and when you put the stickers in the right place, they sparkle. Can you tell I'm running out of things to talk about? Actually, you know what is funny? Putting together a sticker album knowing fully well what's going to happen to these characters by the end of the game. I will say as well that BBS definitely has more interesting level design than Cage 2. It actually has some pretty solid level design. One thing it has in common with Cage 2 though is that there's literally no contextualization at all for the stickers. And I'm not even exaggerating to get my point across. The game literally never tells you anything about why or how these stickers are here. At least I get to build an ice cream tower using the power of sticky pieces of paper in a video game. Shoot, I guess the stickers use your movement capabilities pretty well, in the same way that puzzle pieces do. Now can you see why these two are so similar? Either way, I don't feel like talking anymore. Just go home. I put the X back. Oh wait, there's still Kingdom Hearts. So, let's see, Dream Drop has link portals. Do those count? 0.2 has ears, what about those? Okay, fine. Time to appeal to our all-encompassing, ever-barren corporate overlords. Time to talk about the goddamn Mickey faces.
No, thank you!
So, Lucky Emblems are something that surely do exist, am I right? If you're unfamiliar with Lucky Emblems because you read one of the reviews for Kingdom Hearts 3 that said it was a 2 out of 10 and decided not to play the game, then you're in luck! Is Ethan finally being generous and explaining one of the core collectibles of a mainstream game that sold 6.7 million copies? Like Kanye once said, "Good morning!" Yes I am! The additional Lucky Emblems came in 1929 with Steamboat Willie, and they've been a staple in the Kingdom Hearts games ever since. Alright, enough with the jokes. I'm not funny and you know that. Kingdom Hearts 3 has a camera mechanic that had not been seen in any prior Kingdom Hearts games, and whether you like the camera or not, it definitely adds some pretty fun little side things to do with it. For example, the photo challenges you get from the Moogle add exploration elements that make you take pictures of party members or certain objects in each world. You know, I never really asked myself this, but what's the Moogle gonna do with these photos? Alright, I'm calling it Moogle World Domination in 2026. You better start supporting them now, because we only have a few more years left. Another thing that the camera added was Lucky Emblems, little Mickey-shaped things that you have to take pictures of. You know, I've been sitting at my monitor for 2 minutes now trying to think of a funny segue to contextualization of stupid Mickey faces, but I just give up at this point. The first little bit of contextualization is when you're in Twilight Town and Hayner, Pence, and Olette tell you about a competition for Sora and the gang to take pictures of hidden Mickey faces. That's also the last piece of contextualization we get on the topic of Lucky Emblems, and although it doesn't seem like too much of an explanation, I think it does a far better job than KH2 with explaining puzzle pieces. I haven't really decided if it does a better job than Trinity Marks do in terms of what the hell is going on, so I guess that's for the comments to decide. All two of them. Shout out to Goblin DX for being the 50% of the comments on this video, or maybe the 100%, or maybe the 0%. Also, final thing on the topic of contextualization, have the worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 achieved a universal peace with each other because of this rat silhouette? Seriously though, every world Sora visits is taking part in this competition, which I'm not complaining about, but like, guys, he's just a rat. Why is he unifying all these worlds? I guess it doesn't matter who does it though, just kinda angry it had to be him. Unlike Cage 2 and BBS, the Lucky Emblems don't really add anything in terms of utilizing the movement abilities you unlock over time. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure a base Sora in Cage 3 could snap a photo of most Lucky Emblems here. Granted, however, I think that their intentions with Lucky Emblems and puzzle pieces / stickers were different. Lucky Emblems are definitely here to get players to go out of their way in some spots, or just to utilize the camera in more ways than the photo challenges. Wherein I think that their intentions with puzzle pieces and to a lesser extent stickers was just to give the player something to do with their feet. But I digress. I think that the placement for Lucky Emblems is actually pretty damn good. In the same vein as Trinity Marks, there are always going to be the Lucky Emblems that are just carved into a wall and don't take much thought to find. But in comparison to Trinity Marks, the well-placed Lucky Emblems easily overpower the no-brained ones. Take this one for example. It's in front of the stairs leading up to the front door of Andy's house in Toy Box. Now, if you're just to the left or the right of this Lucky Emblem, it'll seem like a weird pattern of leaves and you usually won't darn nigh, but if you decide to explore a little and hop onto the stairs, you'll see that that previous inconspicuous pile of leaves is actually a Lucky Emblem. There are overall a ton of these angle-based Lucky Emblems that usually mesh perfectly into the environment and require a lot of thought on where to be in order to get them. And then there's the middle ground of Lucky Emblems. These are rat heads that just kinda require you to go out of the way to get. An example of these is also in Toy Box and is carved into the UFO right here. Granted, I'm sure there aren't too many people who decide to climb up on this UFO on their first visits, but on the topic of me being a loser ranting about Ratatouille heads, this isn't very interesting at all. I'm overall pretty impartial to the middle ground though, so I don't mind it. Can we please talk about the Lucky Emblems in 100 Acre Wood though? I've tried to talk about it with my therapist, but they tell me that I'm going insane. I've been in a mental hospital for 3 weeks. I don't know why. I love the 100 Acre Wood Lucky Emblems. It's by definition the most balanced Lucky Emblem world with one boring one middle ground one, and one really cool one. But like, for everything that the 100 Acre Wood does wrong in Kingdom Hearts, I have to give it credit for this. And like Kanye said, I'm nice at ping pong. Damn it! Oh yeah, segue time. That's what he said, right? So, do Lucky Emblems do more good than bad? In my opinion, pretty easily yes. In fact, I think this is the clearest yes out of the 3 games we've done so far, actually. But because this game's actually a 2 out of 10 game, yeah, no, puzzle pieces, or Trinity Marks, or stickers suck. No, wait, it's not. You thought that was an outro, right? I really fooled you. Maybe even bamboozled you. But no. Samantha, please come back. I miss both you and the kids. I know I was bad, but I've thought a lot over these past 20 minutes. And I finally realized, I need you just as much as you need me. You and I go together like Lucky Emblems and a camera goes together. Hopefully Square doesn't replace Lucky Emblems with KH4. God, I'm so tired. You know, this was supposed to be a 2-parter, and then I thought and saw that it was only 15 minutes after KH2, and I got that random 3 p.m. motivation to write the script for BBS and KH3, and edit it, and record footage for it. And now it's 9 p.m. and I'm very much out of that motivation, probably for like 4 hours now, but I digress. This was a fun video to make. It took me a bit, but you know, there's like a 3-month gap with all my videos, ever since pretty much the inception of this channel, so, you know, whatever. I'm kinda sad it was over. I feel like this is, probably the most ambitious, and I think best project I've done so far. Hopefully Goblin DX, comments on this video. So shout out to you, Goblin DX. But yeah, KH Collectables, they're okay. They're fine. They're whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of tired after talking about them for like 20 minutes. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be posting my apology video number 2 soon, so be ready. Be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, and bye.
Shut up!